so I wanted to do a subject on the spiritual connection to colors, because there's a lot of things going on and being said as it relates to colors, and nobody really deals with it head on. So I'm going to deal with it head on. So I'm going to start with the color red. As you can see, some things highlighted in red. Plus, I recently just touched this subject, so I figured why not, let's just start with this one. So Revelation 12:3 deals with a red dragon. You can see it mentions a great red dragon. This red dragon, despite what people want to add to it or twist or change, is defined right here. The great dragon is the same, unless you think it's two great dragons in the book. It's this, I mean, that's just what you think. It's the same great dragon. This great dragon is this great red dragon, okay? Was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, okay? Dealing with the spirit of deception. So the point is that this dragon is red. Is this a literal damn flying creature? No. Why is it red? That's what we're going to deal with. So this is Revelation chapter 12:3. We're going to go to Revelation chapter 20. So now here we are in Revelation chapter 20, and we see what? And I laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent. This is the same dragon and old serpent, unless you think it's three now. You know, it's the same one that we saw in chapter 12. This, you know, the devil and Satan. It's even using the same damn wordage. You know, it's the same red dragon, okay? Each time you see it mentioned, it's not a new one. I just gotta say that. So this dragon, okay, we're going to see and find out how and why this dragon is red. That's where we left off in Revelation chapter 12 verses 3 and verses 9. We're just continuing on the same dragon. So in verse 10 explains why the dragon is red. Verse 10, all we got to do is just read and stop being lazy and listening to what people say. And the devil, the same devil, it's not a fourth devil. It's the same devil you see right here. So let's drop back down. And that devil that deceived, is the same deceiver, them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophets are. And this is a forever lake of fire. This is the point. This is how the dragon, aka the devil, the serpent, all of that, is red. It's because of his outcome. Anything that's any and everything spiritually that's identified as red has nothing to do with any skin color like you would see in a cartoon or that you would hear somebody say. This is not a specific nation of people, because it never says that. People say that. What you see is that the devil is catching a fade of and from the Most High with this fire and brimstone. You see it verbatim. This is how he's his perpetual end is catching this fire and brimstone. Let's get some connections. So right here we are in Jeremiah. This is Jeremiah 15:14. It says, and I will make thee to pass with thine enemies into the land which, I'm not used to reading the KJV, but to the land which thou knowest not. Punchline. For a fire is kindled in mine anger, which shall burn upon you. Just like the fire and brimstone we saw in Revelation as it relates to the red dragon, that's how he's red. This is another fade being caught right here, pissing the Most High off. See, in religion they teach that the Most High is just this loving, which is true. The Most High is about love. But don't be a fool and think that the Most High is only about love, because that would be an imbalanced God. Okay, so this is just a precept connection to show that it's red word usage: anger, fire, burn. Okay, you're kindling a fire, getting pissed off. That's how this is directed on. This is how Satan is read. You're not going to see a red spirit. Okay, it's that mark that's placed upon somebody, like kind of like Cain. Cain had a mark upon him, which is a curse. This passing with thine enemies into a land that you don't know is a damn curse. Therefore, the red word usage: anger, burn. But let's continue. All right, so now here we are in Numbers 11:1. Let's see if this all lines up. All I'm doing is reading. I know people love to say I'm saying, but you would be a liar. And when the people complained, it displeased the Lord, and the Lord heard it, and his what? Anger, a red word, was kindled, and the fire from the Lord burned among them. This is how you have fire from heaven. When you piss God off, God gets pissed off. When you complain, let's continue. Fire from the Lord burned among them and consumed them that were in the uttermost part of the camp. Verse 2, and the people cried unto Moses, I'm reading KJV, and when Moses prayed unto the Lord, the fire was quenched. Now, when I do the blues, when I get to the color blue, you're going to see the opposite. That's comfort, because when you're getting afflicted with fire, you're dealing with the Most High's wrath, you need to put the fire out. And that's the spiritual nature of quenching right there with water. We know there's spiritual water, which is blue. So I'm going to save that for that time. So let's move forward. So here we are in Deuteronomy 9:19. For I was afraid of the anger, a red word, and here we see hot displeasure. We have hot displeasure, wherewith the Lord was wroth, pissed against you to destroy, another red word, you. But the Lord hearkened unto me at that time also. So then we have the Most High pissed off again right here with Aaron. But the point is that, again, you have the same thing going back to Satan. Is to be marked for some sort of, punishment. You're not going to see a red spirit doing its function in the earth, because we know Satan goes up and down in the earth, going to and fro. You're not going to literally see. You see it manifesting in people, no matter their nationality, meaning this. Yes, the devil is not exclusive to Edom, which has passed away, but people still think they're around. But whether they are or not, you will never see Satan manifest only in one nation of people. So we got to stop linking exclusively Satan to Edom, again, whether they're around or not. All right, so here we are in Ezekiel 38:22, starting at 22. And I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood. We know blood is not, if your blood is, here we go, showing forth through your skin, anybody can bleed, no matter your nationality. That's what it means for your blood to show forth through your skin. It's not a good thing. It represents pain, okay? Connected to being red, because blood is red. Fire is red. Brimstone, going back to Satan. But let's continue. Pestilence him with blood, and I will rain upon him and upon his bands and upon the many people that are with him, in overflowing rain and a great hailstone, fire and brimstone. This is not good. This is wrath, or to be wroth which is why they are red words. We need to understand this so we can shake what all we see with our physical eyes, and really stuff you haven't seen with your physical eyes, what people just tell you. We need to shake all of that nonsense. All right, so here we are in Luke. We're in Luke 17, and we want verse 29. So it says, but the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven. Again, that's fire from heaven. That's the wrath of God. Fire from heaven is not, a blowtorch blowing literal flames out of the sky. Like, people have wild imaginations. This is the wrath of God, because God's in heaven on his throne, and destroyed. Another red word, them all, talking about Sodom. So we see Sodom is also red all over. It is not exclusive to Edom. This is very simple when you're not indoctrinated to see things clear. You have to read and stop just, I'll follow this group, because they don't know what they're talking about. Let's continue. All right, so here we go in Jeremiah 51 and 58. And I'm just going to read it. I'm not inserting any additional wordage to sway. It says what it says. Thus saith who? The Lord. Me. No, the Lord of hosts. The broad walls of Babylon shall be utterly broken, and her high gates shall be burned with fire. And the people shall labor in vain, and the folk of the fire, and they shall be weary. This is a prophecy against Babel. This is again wrath from the Most High, because it says so. Making also Babylon, just like Sodom, just like Edom, just like Satan, red all over. It's never exclusive to Edom to be red all over. We need to stop that. If you think that after this, then something you just love your group above the word of God. But let's continue. All right, so speaking of what I just mentioned, I have it right here in Genesis 25 and 25. Now, we've just witnessed that Sodom, again, red all over, just like Edom, just like, or what we're about to read, just like Babylon, catching that fade from the Most High from heaven. I'm just restating, okay? Genesis 25 and 25. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau, okay? Now we know Esau's name was later changed to Edom, which it says right here. Let me do this. Therefore was his name called Edom. Okay, so you can see that. Let me do this. When you see Esau, you see Edom, for those that don't know, because people they itch when the book contradicts what they're taught. So red is all over like a hairy garment. It doesn't say red all over like, now let's change it, a hairy redneck from the South US. No, it doesn't say any of the stuff that we change, that most people change it to. I don't do that. It doesn't just say red, period. Now make the red what you want it to be and connect it directly to Satan. Now Satan is only Edom. No. That contradicts all these other nations that were identified as dragons, or, also being red, which means catching that fade. That dragon was red. We see Edom is red. But it explains why. It says like a hairy garment. We cannot get rid of this. So once you see how the garment is hairy, which is right here in the book, Exodus 36 and 19, you see that ram skin is obviously hairy. Unless you have a ram from some other planet, which I don't believe in planets, but from somewhere else, a ram skin is hairy, okay? But it's dyed red. You need to understand these things before you just, Satan is Edom, is the white man's the devil. It has nothing to do with no white folks. It has nothing to do exclusively to Edom, because we just saw that Babylon and Sodom are also, and Satan they all are connected because they all have the same fate. You're going to see why and how Edom being identified as a red hairy garment, we see right here in this connecting precept, is because it's dyed. So when we get to Isaiah 63 says what it says about Edom, and how Edom and the hairy garment and it being dyed red relates back to Edom. Who is this that comes from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? It all links up. Red in thine apparel. That's what we're talking about. The red dragon, the Most High being pissed. Let's see the connection. Verse 3. I've trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me, for I will tread them in my anger. Another red word. Trample them in my fury. You see what I'm saying? That's the connection. That's the punchline of this redness. And their blood, remember we saw blood, and how if your blood is showing forth through your skin, how it is dealing with some sort of like displeasure. That's the point. Their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, which is how dyed the hairy garment is going to be. The blood of Edom is going to be on his. It's not a good thing. It is a curse. Esau, when you go back to Genesis 25, was cursed since birth. Has nothing to do with a skin color or anything exclusive with Satan. The same outcome you see here is the same outcome that happened with Sodom and Gomorrah, because they were also red all over like a hairy garment. Sodom and Babylon also red all over like a hairy garment. Satan, where we first started in Revelation chapter 12 and Revelation chapter 20, we see him catching a perpetual fade of fire and brimstone. All this redness, displeasure, curse being marked is red. It's the spiritual nature of the color red. We have no jurisdiction to make it exclusive to whatever. We don't have that authority. When you let the book talk, it will tell you that redness, the color red, been in existence since any nation, because you're dealing with wrath of the Most High. That's the point. When you make it about skin color and all these low level things, you belittle the Most High. That's what you're doing. You are belittling the Most High. When you get to Revelation chapter 1 and you see that the eyes were as the flame of fire. Well, yeah. But again, it's being pissed off. We just read, it's the whites turning red. Y'all want to talk about drinking wine in moderation. It's being pissed off, because God gets pissed off. This is not a physical description, any of this, okay? This is all spiritual connection. The fire, the wrath of God, him being pissed off. So, again, going back to our starting point, Revelation 20 and 10 connected with chapter 12. That same one and only dragon is red because of this curse that's put upon it, to be cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, like Sodom and Gomorrah, just like Babylon, just like Edom, just like Cain. They had themselves marked with God's destruction, his wrath, based upon everything we've gone over. And there's more, but it's already clear. I don't have to go to each and every point to make this clear. So that's the color, the spiritual nature of the color red as it pertains to the book. You also have a red horse in Zechariah and in Revelation also. So those of you, is like, make it make sense. Oh, that's Edom too. Yeah, you really need to just
stop it. Get some help.
That's an embarrassment. That is an embarrassment. That's why I'm doing this, is because people don't read, and you want to get mad at the people that do read and take this serious because they did the work. You can have an attitude with this, but show me where anything in here was not read and that anything was made up where I said something. I'm not Isaiah. I'm not Moses. I'm not Jeremiah. I'm not John the Revelator. They say what they say. I read what they say. It's that simple. Take it up with them. That's all I have for now. As it is written, and I'm out.